Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Laura and I'm so excited to have you here. Today I am making an 8.5 by 11 scrapbooking layout and it is fall themed and I'm absolutely in love with it. For this layout, I am using my Wild Hair kit, and I am so excited about the colors that came in my kit this month. They are so beautiful. I've got all kinds of purples and pinks and oranges, and everything is just so delightfully beautiful. I have a whole sheet of printed fall photos here, and I'm going to get to work scrapbooking one of them. So I end up choosing this photo of my friends and I at a pumpkin patch on a hayride because I loved all of the warm tones in it. And my one friend is wearing a maroon sweater, and I thought that fit in perfectly with this gorgeous maroon leaf floral patterned paper here with the light pink in it. And I love this paper so much. I wasn't quite sure how I was going to use it. I thought of maybe putting a smaller piece of white cardstock in the middle and then just having that patterned paper be a border around my page. But I wanted the pattern to be more prevalent. I didn't want it to get like totally lost, if that makes sense. So I decided to cover it with one coat of acrylic paint instead. And that way some of the pattern is still showing through there and it gives it a really fun homemade look. And you know, the way the layout turns out in the end, it's fine. I do like it. It's going to be fine, whatever. But looking back now and watching the process video myself, I liked the pattern paper more before I covered it up with white acrylic paint. Go figure. So if I were making this again, I don't think I would use that technique on this particular layout. But what's done is done. So moving forward, I put my photograph down and I'm going through all of my different embellishments here. I got this Willow die cut pack in my kit this month and I love all of the little pieces in it. They are so gorgeous, and as you can see, the colors are absolutely perfect to match the paper that came in my kit and to match this photograph that I'm using. And that's on purpose. I've been editing my photos lately to all have this fun, warmer tone with a very 70s vibe. So there's been a lot of photographs that have a lot more red, pink, and orange saturation than just typically how they come out of the camera, and desaturating a lot of the other colors that are in my photographs as well. So you can see that effect on this photograph that I'm using in this layout, where the reds and the oranges and the pinks are kind of peeking through, and overall the photo looks warm, but also pretty neutral with the other colors not having a lot of saturation in them. So I really like this because what it allows me to do is not only use my favorite colors right now in scrapbooking, but it also tones down the photographs in a way that makes them, I guess, more open to being used with patterned papers and a ton of embellishments without, feeling overwhelming by having this kind of subdued editing with the colors in the photographs, I think, or at least for me, because I like things to be my idea of simple, and so I don't like things to look too cluttered or visually overwhelming for my eye, and editing my photos this way allows me to really add tons of layers and texture and dimension to my scrapbook pages without it feeling like it's competing with the photograph, because the photograph is very neutral and just waiting to be framed by all of those fun elements. So I really love that, and as you can see here, I am building up a photo mat using all of these different die cuts that I flipped through, and I love how this turns out. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm just piling up all of the different colors here. I've got some maroon and some pink and also some green. I think I've got some copper foil on there and probably going to add a little bit more, but mostly sticking to this color palette that I feel is very much my style this fall. So like I said, really sticking with those warmer tones. The only cooler tone I'm really using here is some green, and I felt like that went fine with the photograph because you can see there's a row of pine trees behind us, and even though the green saturation is turned down, I think it's still obvious that it's like a darker green color. So having a couple of other green elements on the page kind of brings that in as well, and it still looks like it belongs. So once I get all of these different ephemera pieces laid out how I like them, I start taping down all of my different layers. I add a craft bag, just like a bag from the supermarket. I cut it down and used it as paper here. I've really been getting into thrifty scrapbooking lately and very inspired by Seuss Fish. I just adore her content, and she talks a lot about finding stuff in your habitat and using that as a scrapbooking supply. So if you go to the supermarket and you get a cute little napkin, or your cookie comes in a glassine bag, she'll save all those little bits and pieces and use them in her scrapbooking, and it's just a fun, frugal way to add to your crafty stash. Because I've been into the warmer tones lately, I've been saving all of the paper bags that cross my path so I can use them as scrapbooking paper. And you can see how that worked out here. I think it worked out perfectly. I really love how it looks. And I cut a few strips of paper from that cut apart sheet that I have. And I love that patterned paper so much. You can see it on the screen here still on the side, and it's got all those gorgeous colors I was talking about being obsessed with. And that's from the Jen Hadfield This Is Family collection. And now I am laying down lots of copper phrases and floral embellishments here. And I love this phrase pack. When I first saw this thicker pack with the copper foil phrases on it, I was just so in love. Like, I think it's my all-time favorite thicker pack I have ever seen in my life. And I believe it's from the Willow collection by Canoe too, which is also where this patterned paper background is from and where the ephemera I'm using in this layout is from. So everything in my wild hair kit came together so beautifully for this layout, and as you can see, I love all the colors and I feel like it has a really fun fall vibe. But I also felt like I needed some more interest to the page. I don't know, it felt like it was still a little flat to me. So what I am going to end up finishing my page with is a ton of light pink paint splatters, and you can see I'm just using a scrap paper here to cover up my photograph, and then I'm using a couple of different techniques to get the paint down onto my page. I first kind of like shake it up and down vertically on top of the layout, and that gives you the bigger paint splatters. And then what I do is I mix it up with a little bit of water and I flick it against my finger, and that gives you all of the tiny splatters of paint. And I just love how this layout turned out so much. I'm loving all the different layers and the copper foil, the fall vibes, and especially this gorgeous photograph that I used. So I hope you have enjoyed this scrapbooking layout process video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you want to see from me next. I will link the Wild Hair Kits down below if you are interested in getting a hand-curated kit like this for yourself. As you can see, my projects each month, they just turn out so great, and I don't have to put too much thought into it because everything just coordinates already, and I love that. So if you want to check out that, you can, and if you want to check out my website, I will also link that down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to see future crafty tutorials, and I will catch you next time. Bye!